Hi, folks. Faith the dog trainer here. I realize that sometimes, let me just get cozy. Sometimes dog trainers push treats so much, and I want to clarify that really it's the first year, and I say that with a little bit of a it depends on the dog. So I'll rephrase that. So it's the time frame where a dog is still a puppy. The puppy brain is still learning and still developing. That's when I use treats most often. When a dog is being exposed to something new, a new person, a new sound, a new motion, a distraction, whatever that might be, I'm going to have treats on hand. I want to reward, whether that's through affection, access, a treat, a toy, calm behavior and responses I like. Does that mean I give a dog a treat for every little thing or because they're breathing they earn a treat? No, it does not. So as I work with a puppy, I'm fairly generous initially when there's all these new things happening and going and moving and different distractions to help have confidence in a dog so that they're not afraid and not fearful. I want to pair those experiences with something they enjoy, which is usually going to be a treat. But I don't keep using a treat to get a puppy in a crate after more than a few weeks. So initially, I use treats if that's what they are motivated by. And over the course of the year, roughly, I get way pickier about what earns a treat, what earns a reward, especially so that I can fade out the use of a treat reward. Because if the ball is a reward, I can still use it, I'm just not using it as often. So I hope that that clarifies for people because I know I see it. I go to people's homes for training and I see that they're still using a treat to get the dog to sit when the dog is two, and I have to say, so if the dog understands its command fully, and no matter where you are and what's going on, and then give you a sit, you no longer need to reward that same sit. Now it becomes I'm going to reward the sit that lasts for 10 seconds. Now it's going to be I'm going to reward the greeting as long as you're not jumping. So we start expanding what it is that earns that same reward. So we want to fade out the use of a treat as quickly as possible, but that's depends on the dog and given the situation. So if my dog has learned something and they're not quite 100% sure on what it is I'm asking them to do, I'm still going to have treats available, but it doesn't mean I'm going to start having the mentality of, well, you did this at home, why can't you do this here? Because I know, trust me, I'm human, I have dogs. Lacey's actually laying right over here. I'm surprised she's not trying to be in the picture. So I don't want to be stingy. I don't want to have the mentality of, well, my dog's only working for me because I have treats. And I think that people forget dogs don't think like us. They initially, we've taken them from their mother and their litter mates, and their whole world is completely upside down. And our job is to now replace and have some structure of that family unit. And they don't work for free. They're motivated by different things than we are, and we forget that. And so to have the mindset of, no, I want my dog to listen because I want them to please me, is while it has good intentions, you can't start off with that oftentimes because then your high expectations are simply too high. You're going to get frustrated. The puppy's not going to understand what you're asking. And we tend to go to harsher methods when that happens, when we don't see results right away. So please, if you're searching for information, I know there's a lot out there. And I know that positive reinforcement training, sometimes people just go, oh, well, that's treat training and that's just bribery. And I want to say that's not accurate. You go to work for a paycheck, correct? Is that then also bribery? So it's using what motivates the dog. Keep that in mind and then use it accordingly so that we can fade out the use of that initial treat reward. So they do want to listen over time. But when they're young, their attention span is short. They have a hard time focusing because their brain isn't fully developed. So that's when I'm most likely to use treats and or whatever the dog is working for. It's very convenient if your dog cares about treats, simply because of the fact that you can carry them on hand. It's easy to have them broken up. It's easy to have them in a pocket or a treat pouch or something versus a toy or a ball. If your dog is motivated by that, it's much more challenging. There's not a time and a place. I'm not going to be rewarding bouncing a ball in the vet hospital versus I can give my puppy a treat without it disrupting the whole situation. So keep that in mind, and give yourself grace and give your dog grace. They're learning. So if you see that they're having a hard time with something, we tend to get frustrated, kind of thing, and we lose our patience. And when our dog is having a hard time, that's what's happening for them. They're losing, they're like, what do you want me to do? And so we need to make sure, what are we asking for? How do we break that down to something more manageable? How can I make this easier for my dog? And know that sometimes they're just over it. No matter how simplified something is, their brain is done. And you have to be aware of that too. Go, oh yeah, okay. Your brain's cooking there and you can't give me anything else right now. So that's when your job as a pet parent is to recognize and say, oh yeah, okay, you've had it, you've met your max for this moment. So sometimes short and sweet, and other times it's real life. You have a vet appointment, and just because the puppy's done mentally, you're like, sorry, we still have to finish your vaccines or things like that. So it's trying to blend the concept of training into real life so that it works for you and for the dog. So thank you. And Lacey, come here. We got to have an appearance of a puppy, huh? This sleepy girl. Yeah, we were able to get out and enjoy a walk before the rain. So that's what I want, is for you guys to be able to take your dogs places. Keep working with them. And thank you for watching.